2,000 years, 1,500 years. The Silk Road was the major source of prosperity of China, Persia, Ottoman Empire, Venice, and Europe. Diyan nang gagaling ang kayamanan na based on trade. Yung ibang kayamanan sa buong mundo ay basehan sa minerals at pag-aangkin ng lupa ng ibang tao. It's feudalism. They take over, they have slaves working the fields, or they have mining enterprises or mineral enterprises. It's only this trade, it's purely trade. It's silk, it's spices, it's manufactured goods from Europe and from China going to each other. It's not taking advantage of anybody. No? And that made the countries. In fact, our galleon trade, ang hindi alam ng ibang tao, itong galleon trade na ito is the richest sea-borne trade in the world for hundreds of years, for 300 years. Pag sinasabi ng tao pirate ship, ang pinapakitang takeover nila is galleons. No? One galleon ship can make, in one shipment, 2 million tiles of silver, no, profit. So that made a lot of people rich. No? But do we know that 95% of this trade is passing through the Philippines? Yung Philippines magko-commission and made a lot of Spaniards and local business people rich. But it is 95% goods from and to China. Ang pinapoint out ko dito is that just by being part of a trade route, you can become rich. That's the same with Hong Kong, that's the same with Venice in Italy, just by, or in the Middle East, in Turkey. So just being part of the route, it's like kung may lupa tayo, tapos dadaanan tayo ng highway, but ayaw tayong sumama na padaan sa highway.
Yes.
No? So why are we holding back on this? We can propose this and we can correct this because we should be part of the highway. Why do we not want to be part? Because the basic studies show that this will make all shipments maybe get to where they're supposed to go in half the time. Because of the railways and ports that will put up, the harmonized customs, immigration, goods, tariffs, processes that will be discussed. So, ibig sabihin, magiging kasama tayo sa isang trade route all over the world, kaysa hindi tayo kasama. So, yan ay isa sa mga bagay na dapat nating pasukan. No? And in terms of perspective, we have to see that Japan is technically in an undeclared war with China, but because they don't attack every day, they had 5 million tourists last year. The Philippines, the whole Philippine tourism is 5 million. Japan, just from China, is 5 million. Thailand had 27 million tourists, 7 million came from China. Anong kakaiba dito? Philippines is the best tourist place to have because the people are warm and the places are beautiful. We need the infrastructure, we need the airports. We need to spend for that. No? The World Bank, IFC, the U.S. has limited funds now dahil they're under recession in many of these countries. So we should consider where we're going to get the funds and where we're going to get the customers. Kapag sabihin natin na we have mining, because I have business in mining. You know what? Mining does not make a lot of people. It helps improve a community for a few hundred people only. When we have manufacturing kami, we have 20,000 workers, no? In garments and textiles. We have manufacturing, agriculture makes the whole people rich.
Yes.
But because of our cost structure and electricity, it's hard to make manufacturing a major. When they're declaring that Philippines is becoming a manufacturing center again, they are misleading you. Because unlike manufacturing before, in which a factory has 2,000-3,000 people, these Japanese factories have 150-200 people. They have no impact on the people. Very little impact on the general population. Of course, may impact dahil pag binili ang lupa, may kikita. Tapos may construction, let's be frank. So may kabutihan rin. But it is very limited. When we do mining, in any place in the world, if you talk about mineral rights in Spratlys and so on, the few mining companies will get rich. Your country will have to defend the territory when we make ourselves a front line in this battle because the U.S. is turning the Philippines into a giant battleship. No, gagawin tayong front line. And this is official in U.S. policy because the U.S. CIA papers that were released by Snowden and others show there that the Philippines is expected to take the front line and make the moves because legally, mas may karapatan ng Pilipinas dito kaysa ang US. So ito ang pinanggagamitan sa atin. When you have tourism, everybody gets rich. You know, in Thailand, we consider it a major manufacturing country, and it is a prosperous country and progressing well, although medyo chaotic rin, no? 46% of its 46% of its income comes from tourism. Almost half. And the same with Spain and Italy, a lot of them. When you have tourism, the student makes money. Magtutour guide yan, magta-translation yan. Yung barong-barong kumikita. Yung mga kotse, yung mga pedicab, lahat yan kumikita. Yung mga dancer, media, advertising, hotel, everyone from small to big makes money. But when you are talking about mineral rights, only a few companies will make money. So we take this into consideration because it's like having an inheritance. You know, even practically, I'm not saying that we should give up our rights on property. Pero kapag ako ay may ilang bahay at yung pamilya ko ay naghihirap, if I will lease out or not make an issue of the other house and my family can do better, can go to school, can have a better life, ito ang unahin natin, ang kabuhayan ng karamihan sa atin. Ito ang mas importante for now. No, we're not saying give up the rights because China is not expecting us to give up the rights because the DFA is saying that China is wanting us to give up the rights the moment we sit down in discussion. This is totally not true. It's the reverse. It's the Philippine DFA under the current government that is expecting that upon sit down, the rights are accepted to be, because it came out in the newspapers last year in headlines. Because of the persistent rumors, the ambassador from China came out one day, I don't remember what paper, in the headlines, front page, that there are no preconditions. The next day, the DFA came out and said, we are not sitting down anyway. Paano kayo kung may alitan kayo na hindi kayo mag-uusap? How does that get better? No? So we're not saying that we have to reach any agreement, but actually, even the Philippines has resolved a lot of issues through bilateral talks. If we say that you cannot talk to a superior power, military power, then how are we talking to the US and other countries? No, we have to use our own mind. The world is changing. The terms of engagement are different. It's no longer has to be directed at military because we can trade things, we can exchange, we can do a lot of things together. So we would suggest, from a business viewpoint, both from investment, technology, finance, tourism, all of that, it is a massive good, a lot of good will come to the Philippines. We're not saying that we have to give up anything because Deng Xiaoping himself said, let's leave the fight for future generations. Let's work, because I can tell you directly that informally, China had offered 60% of the income. But the DFA refused to meet during this period because of maybe, I don't understand, maybe so that they can say that they never got such an offer. They were offered 60%, then later 50%. But I have to say that right now, we have been informed that the offer is off the table. But it doesn't mean it cannot come back in some form. No? So, yan lang. We have a lot of opportunities. Before nahirapan tayo, ang layo ng US ng shipment eh. No? Ang hirap kumuha ng financing. No, financing is available, technology is available, the market is available, and that's all nearby. No, so let's take advantage of this period and this presidency. Thank you.